Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is one of my holiday lightened up hot cocos. This is the peppermint chocolate red velvet tea combo. This is bomb. I'm gonna link that video above, but it's real good. I just thought I would share some things that I've learned along the years that just kind of help me keep my head in the game, stay in the right mood, just kind of remember why I do this. You know what I mean? All the good, hang on, of course.
So I need to be in the video. And hello everybody. How is you? Another day, another video. But yeah, so hopefully this is helpful. We're gonna get through. I've got about 10 pieces of advice I'll share with you. Some little tips for a magical holiday that doesn't, suddenly involve you having a drinking problem. Okay, so you have to either stay or you have to go that way, because that way we can't go. Okay, can't go this way, we have to go this way. What are you thinking? So I don't know. The first piece of advice I would tell you, especially if you have more than a couple of things you want to do, is to start early. Whether that's time, money, whatever, budgeting, planning, whatever that may be, start early. I have started in September, well over 10 years. It makes me feel, literally, I remember in my 20s, I remember this was 10 years ago at least. I remembered so vividly having this Excel doc, and I had pages, and each one was it was a budget breakdown, it was a to-do list, it was whatever. And that was 10 years ago. So plus, right? Just so I kind of stayed on track, but also just so you don't get overwhelmed, because you can see it. You can kind of chunk out the projects as you go. That's the first one, especially if you're doing anything that's remotely large scale, or you just, not even that, even if you're somebody that just doesn't have time. I used to work 7 days a week for over 10 years. So I totally understand, I only need to buy for, a handful of people, but I don't have time. Same thing, start early and then just kind of take a few minutes to map out what you need to map out. And then when you have more time, circle back and add to it or update it or whatever. But yeah, that's a huge, at least for me, that's been really helpful. And then now, because of my back and because of the scale, I start early because this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It takes me weeks to do my house. So part of that's my back, and I just can't go hard anymore. But the other part of it is this shit is hard. I want to have it up to enjoy it. I don't really care what other people say about oh, you're not supposed to do this by X time. You don't live at my house. You didn't pay for it. So you don't have an opinion that I'm going to listen to. You can do whatever you want in your own house. But in my house, North Pole starts in September. I'm also not a Halloween person, so I don't really care. So my second piece of advice is to budget. And don't lie to yourself. And that's not just money, that's time too. Determine how much you can spend, time, money, resources, whatever it might be, and then how do you want to spend it. You got to budget, because and even with money, you need a healthy idea of what you're willing to spend and then what you're willing to go over. Because you're always going to go over. At least for me, I always go over. So it's okay, what's my absolute breaking point? Don't exceed this number. Because you get caught up. I start so early that hell, I'm halfway done by October, and then everything rolls out and I'm okay. So I'm I need numbers. So a third piece of advice I would give you, Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't do your house or your wrapping or your shopping or whatever. Don't do it all in one day. That's ridiculous. You're just gonna be stressed out the whole time, be panicked. You're not gonna feel like you're making progress, or it's just that. It's just not healthy. So just pace it, do a little bit at a time, in accordance to your lifestyle and the flow that you enjoy, and just, it's okay. It's okay. My fourth piece of advice, prioritize what you love. So if you're not into inflatables, don't do inflatables. If you're really into Christmas cards and you love stationery,
you know, ordering the like holiday stamps and having the wax seal and all that, then do it, you know, but like prioritize what it is you love. And then make a real effort around that. And my logic with that is more like, if you are trying to manage time, money, whatever, expectations, having an idea of why you're doing what you're doing and why you're putting the effort into X, Y, and Z, that's the most important thing, right? Because then you know, look, I might not have done this, but I got that done and I really wanted to get that done. So that's really important, because at the end of the day, it's you. If you love villages, or you love signs, or you love candles, or you love whatever it is, do it up. Do what makes you feel good. It keeps you feeling festive. And if you love the holidays and you love to feel festive, you need those little things. You know what I mean? My 5th piece of advice, take care of yourself. Not everything needs to be an indulgence. Too much sugar, too much alcohol, too much whatever can make you feel like shit. And then you're grumpy and nobody wants to be around Scrooge. Take your health seriously. So if you are somebody like me where you celebrate like every day and like every day is a thing, whatever health and wellness looks like to you, really make that a priority, because you need to stay okay. Like, you need to stay healthy, you need to stay like moving. And so for me, my back's not doing so good right now, so now's not the time to do endurance training, because I am the aforementioned love child of the Christmas heavy hitters. I do like my holiday hot drinks all the time, right? And it makes me happy. And then at the same time, I'm not like sluggish from, you know, too much of this and not enough of that. My 6th piece of advice, don't compare. I know that sounds like, yeah, thanks. But seriously, decor styles, budgets, lifestyles, priorities, they all vary, you know? There is no way I can compare my life to like a couple with no kids, you know, who have total control over everything. I don't have control over like 70% of my life. So there's like, it's completely irrational for me to like pick that, to be like, oh yeah, she's got great whatever. Yeah, of course she does, because she got nobody interrupting her the whole time. But like, of course she does. And even if it's like decor, because you know how trends are, like maybe you don't love farmhouse. I don't. But that's okay if you do. Like, it's your home, it's your money, it's your effort. Do what makes you happy. But ultimately, comparison is the thief of joy. So just, there's no point in comparing your work to somebody else's, because their life isn't yours. My 7th piece of advice is to outsource. If you have friends, especially this year, I think it's so necessary, because like if you're like us, we're high risk. So like we're not going anywhere. I am dying to go to Home Goods, and I can't. Like, there's just no way. So my best friend Nikki, she is going to Home Goods in a couple of days, and I hit her up and I said, hey, would you mind letting me know if they have these things, and I'll drive down to your house and pick them up off your doorstep. Like, you know, if you've got friends doing something that you can't do, or, you know, Amazon can do it, or whoever can do it, employ them. Something else I think about a lot is food. So if you maybe love the idea of baking, but you just don't have the time, you don't have the capacity, you don't have the whatever, I totally get that. Support a local bakery. Like, there are tons, I live in Austin, so I'm pretty spoiled, but like, there are tons of, especially right now, there are tons of small businesses that are dying to stay afloat. So if you want to, you know, when you're listing your priorities and you go, I'd love to do this, I just don't have the time resource for it, but you know, let somebody else do it. Pay them for their efforts, and that way everybody wins, you know? My 8th piece of advice is to pause and to be present. You need to take moments so that you in fact can make the memories. Hot chocolate and movie nights, festive music while you're wrapping, these are all the moments that make up the memories. So it's super important that you be present and be positive. Like, just enjoy it. You know, I know you're stressed out because you've got like a mountain of stuff you gotta wrap, but you know what? Like, you got a mountain of stuff you gotta wrap. That's awesome. That's exciting. So maybe we do 1/3 of the mountain today, and then you hide the other 2/3. And that way you can take your time. You know, if just the sight of it is overwhelming, move it. And that way you only take out what you can handle, and that way you can be present, you can do your best. It goes back to Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, just take a breath, it's gonna be okay.
pause and just remember why you're putting all this effort into your holidays, you know? Number 9, stay positive. Honestly, between like Rona and shipping delays and limited edition and parking lots, like shit happens and it sucks, but it's okay. So just breathe and look for, you know, silver or gold lining, and know it'll be all right. You know, we're all going through it this year, especially. Like, I am very, very quick to think, okay, well, we couldn't do like 4 million things this year, but you know what? We're okay. And I'm so thankful that we can do these things and that we're healthy and that we've got a roof over our heads and we've got food to eat and all, like, we're doing all right. So you got to stay positive. My 10th piece of advice is to just have fun. Enjoy it. Remember why you're doing this. This is your life. You need to live it how you want. You need to make the holidays what you want them to be. And, you know, whatever that is for you. And it always changes for me. My God, if you look at the house last year versus this year, it's like different. But like, have fun with it. You know, if it's not fun, don't do it. As an adult, I was just talking to the kids about this last week, but like, as an adult, there's so much stuff that we have to do. So when it comes to things that we want to do, like, pay attention to them. Do what you want, have fun with it, and make the best of them. And that way when you look back at all the good. Because you're not really gonna remember the stress, you know? You might remember some of the pain, but you're not really gonna remember the like frustrations. You are going to remember it if you've made it such a big deal that other people remember it. So you need to be mindful of how your actions and energy affect others. And just, I keep saying this, but like, why are you doing it? Do you love it? Does it make you so happy? It makes me so happy. I cried when you pulled the stuff out. Like, I am a lunatic for this stuff. So I just really enjoy it. And I think every time I'm just like, oh my God. It's not super often. It's more because I'm physically, you know, but it happens to all of us. And you need to go, okay, you know, and they all kind of braid together. So like, it's easy for me to say that when I know from firsthand experience, well, I have all this stuff. So when I'm stressed out, I just look at my tree and I don't have my tree on right now because of the LED. It's like all weird on camera. But I just turn my twinkle lights on and it calms me down, you know, when you're having a day. So yeah. So hopefully this video is helpful. Hopefully it helps you stay a little more sane this year. I know we all need sanity under the tree from 2020, but you know, my goal is primarily just to spread some holiday cheer, as hokey as that sounds. But yeah, like, remember why you do it, you know, and remember when you're doing, I think about this a lot, but like when you're wiping down your counters for the 9 millionth time that day, or like you're doing however many loads of laundry or whatever it is, you're making memories with your family. Like, this is I personally really love the chaos. I love that kind of frenetic energy of the holidays, and I really love having the magic of it. It's more about just acknowledging humanity in other people and giving in whatever way you can and just being decent to one another. And I think, you know, aside from everything from 2020, I think just the overarching theme of the holidays for me has always been just this magical time of the year where everything just feels like special, you know? And so I really try very hard to live that way throughout the year, but I try really hard, especially at the holidays, because why not? You know, life's too short and I really love it. It makes me happy. And so I want to kind of take it as far as I can. Anyway, y'all, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all very, very soon. Bye.